Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all distinguished guests, esteemed speaker, and participants join us today. Welcome to the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium with the theme Ocean for the Future, Integrating Marine Biodiversity, Sustainability, and Resilience. The symposium is part of a series of events celebrating the Dies Natalis and Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science. We are honored to have all of you here. To start our event, let us sing the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, followed by hymn of IPB University. Next, it is my great pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Ferdinand Yulianda, the Dean of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, to deliver his welcome speech. This moment will also mark the official opening of the Dies Natalis of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, IPB University 2025. Professor Ferdinand, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Cici. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Minister of National Development Candidate, Bappenas, Professor Dr. Rachmat Pambudy, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Public Organization, Dr. Arief Havas, Oegroseno, Rector of IPB University, Prof. Jaya, Director of International Collaboration Office, IPB, the Head of the Department at the Faculty of Business and Science. Invited speaker, Pilar, Velásquez, Jofre, from Instituto de Investigaciones Aplicadas al Ambiente de Desarrollo from Guatemala. Professor Dr. Fang, Qinhua from Xiamen University, China. Professor Dr. Indra Jaya from Faculty of Fisheries and Science at IPB University. Dr. Lisa Becking from Wageningen University, Natural Biodiversity Center, Netherlands. And Dr. Muhamad Naimullah of University Malaysia, Terengganu. And also Embryo International Symposium Committee, all guests, respected colleagues and participants. On behalf of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, the IPB University, I am truly honored to welcome you all to the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium. This important forum period provides us with an invaluable opportunity to strengthen scientific dialogue, share insight, and foster collaboration across disciplines and across nations. This year is particularly special for us as the symposium coincides with the 62nd anniversary of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science at IPB University, a pioneering faculty established in 1963 and one of the oldest faculties at IPB University. Since its establishment, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science has been at the forefront of advancing education, research, and innovation in fisheries and marine sciences, while continuously contributing to national development, inspiring Indonesia through impactful agro-maritime initiatives. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to EMBRIO, enhancing marine biodiversity research in Indonesia, for successfully organizing this important event. Since 2013, EMBRIO has grown into a center of scientific excellence in the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science. The scope of EMBRIO activities includes international symposium, mini workshop, field course, research collaboration, visiting lecture, student exchange, summer course, and more. The theme of this year's symposium, Ocean for the Future, Integrating Marine Biodiversity, Sustainability and Resilience, highlights the importance of integrated approach in managing marine biodiversity. promoting ocean sustainability, and enhancing the resilience of marine ecosystem. As an academic community, we carry a responsibility not only to generate knowledge, but also to translate into solutions that address pressing global and national challenges. This aligns with our mission as a faculty committed advancing science, innovation, and education in fisheries and marine sciences. I believe that healthy oceans will support human well-being and future generations. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our international partners, distinguished speakers, and participants for your presence and contribution. May this symposium inspire meaningful discussion, strengthen collaboration, and let us towards a shared vision of healthy and sustainable ocean. I wish you all a fruitful and engaging symposium. By saying Bismillah, in this time I hereby open this 62nd anniversary of Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science IPB units. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Ferdinand, for your warm welcome speech. Now we will hear the opening remark from Professor Dr. Arief Satria, Director of IPB University. Please welcome Professor Arief Satria.
Minister of National Development Planning, Pak Arief, Havas, Oegroseno, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dean of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Global Connectivity, IBB, invited speakers from Instituto de Investigaciones Aplicadas al Ambiente Desarrollo from Guatemala, and from Xiamen University, from IBB, from Wageningen University, from Naturalis, as well as from University of Malaysia, Terengganu, and Embryo International Symposium Committee, all guest speakers and participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is a great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium with the theme of Oceans for the Future, Integrating Marine Biodiversity, Sustainability, and Resilience. As an archipelagic nation with extraordinary marine biodiversity, Indonesia carries a big responsibility to conserve and manage its marine resources, both to ensure food security and advance the blue economy, as well as to contribute to global climate stability. This aligns with IBB University's vision as a leading agro-maritime institution, integrating agriculture, fisheries, marine science, and sustainability, with the ultimate goal of fostering innovation that advance human prosperity and strengthen resource resilience. This year's symposium holds a special meaning as it coincides with the 62nd anniversary of IBB University. And carrying the spirit of impactful agro-maritime inspiring Indonesia, this celebration reminds us of IBB University continuous journey to strengthen its role as a leading agro-maritime institution that inspires national and global collaboration. The symposium is jointly organized by EMBRIO of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science with support from numerous national and international partners. IBB University is proud to host the symposium as a platform for scientists, policymakers, and stakeholders to exchange ideas, share research, and build partnership. I extend my sincere appreciation to all participants, especially our international partners, for your commitment and contributions. I hope the symposium will not only serve as knowledge-sharing forum, but also evolve into a long-term collaboration network that drives impactful scientific and policy-oriented outcomes. I wish you all an enjoyable and inspiring symposium. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat melaksanakan jalan pagi cerah di Naturalis SYIAAD.
We have now come to our group photo session. To the participant, please turn on your cameras. Our operator will guide you to make sure everyone is included in this memorable picture. Okay, let's start from slide 1. Okay, and then slide 2, say cheese. And then slide 3, give your biggest smile. And next, slide 4. And then slide 5. Okay. Thank you for everyone. We hope you will cherish this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to our keynote session. We are privileged to have two distinguished speakers with us today. Our first keynote speaker is Professor Dr. Rachmat Pambudy, the Minister of National Development Planning. Professor Rachmat is a renowned expert in national policy and planning, with extensive experience in formulating strategies for sustainable development. His insights are crucial for integrating environmental sustainability into national policies. We are honored to have him share his insight on the topic, Navigating Indonesian Ocean Future, Integrating of Biodiversity, Sustainability, and Resilience in National Planning. Professor Rachmat, the virtual stage is
هذا
yours.
الجزء الثاني براء. شوف الجزء الأول. دور على الجزء الأول. ها؟ دور على
Your Excellency, Rector of IPB University and colleagues, esteemed researcher and academics from various universities at home and abroad, development partners, international organizations, and business representatives, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. I'm honored to join you at the 7th International Embryo Symposium. Thanks to IPB University and all partners for bringing scientists and stakeholders together to discuss Indonesia ocean futures. The symposium is very strategic in the context of a blue economy development in Indonesia. Blue economy has been one of the new sources of growth for Indonesia economic transformation. Its development is consolidated and guided under the Indonesia's Blue Economy Roadmap 2023-2045, aiming to build a sustainable ocean economy that supports people, protects nature, and drives growth. By 2045, we expect to achieve 15% of our GDP contributed by maritime sectors. Increase marine protected area up to 70.5 million hectares and increase blue job up to 12% of total decent job in Indonesia. To achieve the targets, the development blue economy also considers the importance of protecting coastal and marine biodiversity. This includes the implementation of Indonesia Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan 2025-2045. These documents guided effort to conserve important ecosystems, including marine life, with the vision of living in harmony with nature. The plan focuses on conservation, sustainable use, capacity building, and global cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia Long-Term Plan 2025-2045 puts the blue economy at the center of future goals. The medium term translates the long-term policies by highlighting how the ocean supports high economic growth, lower extreme poverty, and increase human capital quality as well as a climate resilience. From 2025 to 2029, we aim for sustainable growth, poverty reduction, and a better human capital through marine and fishery development. We plan to increase fish production, boost export, and expand marine protected area to 32.5 million hectares while protecting ecosystems. All of these can be achieved by using our modalities where over 70,500 islands are rich in marine biodiversity and strategically located between two oceans and continents. Our seas support millions of livelihoods, store vast blue carbon reserves, and play a vital role in global trade, fisheries, and climate action. Our ocean future depends on blue food, ensuring food and a protein security from the ocean, blue economy, growing ocean-based economic benefit for communities, blue carbon, protecting ocean ecosystem to store carbon and keep nature healthy. To track blue economy progress, Indonesia has developed the Blue Economy Index, which compares regional performance based on economic value, coastal community welfare, and environmental sustainability. Results show strong performance in eastern region like Sulawesi and Maluku, while areas like Kalimantan, Papua, and Sumatra need better infrastructure, governance, and human capital development. Indonesia aims to integrate aquatic food into national food system to ensure it is available, safe, nutritious, and affordable for all. Key steps including improving nutrition, protecting marine ecosystem, supporting small-scale fishers, building partnerships, and boosting the value of competitiveness of marine products. Healthy oceans are vital for fisheries and climate resilience, with ecosystems like mangrove, seagrass, and a coral reef playing a key roles. Indonesia's strategic focus on protection, sustainable use with community involvement, and restoration of degraded marine and coastal ecosystem. Distinguished guests, Indonesia Ocean Future is a shared responsibility between our nation and the world. By focusing on blue economy, blue food, and blue carbon, and balancing economy, ecology, society, governance, we can ensure a sustainable ocean for future generations. Success depends on strong planning, science, institutions, industries, communities, and governance, and we are committed to creating ocean and prosperous communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rachmat Pambudy, for that incredibly insightful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for the next keynote speaker. Please enjoy this video. Thank you.
From the highlands to ocean, as it is more widely known, Indonesia is renowned with an abundant supply of water resources. Bacteria, fungi, plankton, banthas, aquatic plants, fishes, amphibians, and aquatic mammals fill the waters of Indonesia. Department of Aquatic Resources Management researches in the management efforts of the waters and its biota. Located in Dramaga Bogor, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, IPB University. As an educational institution, there are many supporting facilities available, including advanced laboratory and an integrated lab in Pelabuhan Ratu and Ancol that assist any field of research with classrooms that meet international standards. Aquatic Environment Productivity Division, Ecobiology and Aquatic Resources Conservation Division, and Fishery Resources Management Division are the three divisions of the Department of ARM. The three dharma of education, research, and community service are managed by the Department of ARM. Both academic, lecture, practice, and internship, and extracurricular, sports, organization, diving, field trips, Bappenas, and bootcamp activities are included. IPB University has received numerous awards, hence it is listed in world-class university ranking. The Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science engages in a variety of partnerships with local and foreign universities, as well as research institutes and corporate businesses. The Department of ARM is known for its accomplishments as the most productive in publishing research journals. It also receives support from qualified academic staffs in carrying out its education. Many students have achieved to both national and international scenes, including Pekan Ilmiah Mahasiswa. Students are trained to be competent in special planning of the coast, sea, small islands, and inland waters. 2. Integrated management of coastal, sea, small islands, and inland waters. 3. Socio-ecological systems of marine and inland fisheries. 4. Conservation biodiversity. 5. Blue economy and blue carbon. 6. Assessment, mitigation, and rehabilitation of aquatic pollution. The alumni of ARM department work in a wide range of fields as lecturer, researchers, government employees, commercial businesses, and non-profit organizations. In carrying out the Merdeka Belajar Campus Merdeka, ARM collaborates with companies and universities, both domestic and international, through PKKM or Independence Campus Competition Program. Be part of the expert management of aquatic resources by joining together in the Department of Aquatic Resources Management, IPB University. Indonesia exhibits the largest marine biodiversity in the world, where we can discover unique varieties and countless types of marine ecosystems. The IPB University International Undergraduate Program in Marine Science and Technology applies cutting-edge science and technology to explore marine resources and the environment. In this major, we can learn about marine hydrology, oceanography, underwater acoustic, marine instrumentation and robotics, and remote intelligence. Our excellent research facilities, field courses, summer and winter courses, as well as innovative lecturers and researchers in the marine field became a solid reason for you to join the International Program of Marine Science and Technology at IPB University. It is the right place to pursue the knowledge in the field of marine sciences. Marine Science and Technology. Learn to love the ocean with knowledge. Indonesia exhibits the largest marine biodiversity in the world, where we can discover unique varieties and countless types of marine ecosystems. The IPB University International Undergraduate Program in Marine Science and Technology applies cutting-edge science and technology to explore marine resources and the environment. In this major, we can learn about marine hydrology, oceanography, underwater acoustic, marine instrumentation and robotics, and remote intelligence. Our excellent research facilities, field courses, summer and winter courses, as well as innovative lecturers and researchers in the marine field became a solid reason for you to join the International Program of Marine Science and Technology at IPB University. It is the right place to pursue the knowledge in the field of marine sciences. Marine Science and Technology. Learn to love the ocean with knowledge.
Smile now, been here for a while now. I'm fed up with this, I just wanna go home. But damn, that girl set me up with her. Dance with me, baby, dance with me, baby, let's get lost right here. Dance with me, baby, dance with me, baby, under the chandelier. This guy's just a douchebag. I'm so disappointed in myself. The look on her faces, I hope we go places. I'm left alone. Should have stayed at home and searched how to date on Chrome. Dance with me, baby, let's get lost right here.
Indonesia is one of the richest ecosystems in the world, place where Indian and Pacific Ocean met, with mega biodiversity in mangrove, seagrass, and coral reef ecosystem. With 70% of Indonesia area being water, the potential that the Indonesian Ocean have is also very large. But behind this great potential, there are various threats that exist in it. One of them being marine debris. Marine debris threatens marine life. Plastic originating from rivers, household waste, industry, tourism, and ghost fishing. With marine debris being one of the serious problems, such as entangled species, garbage that is eaten by marine animals, and also destroy the aesthetic of marine ecosystem. With that, IPB University carries out various collaborative research and monitoring related to marine debris. Long-term microplastic research was carried out together with Germany by involving students and producing several publications. Apart from research, action and outreach were carried out in the field involving the community, carrying out clean action in the surrounding environment, coastal cleanup, socialization, and participating in various kinds of competition in the field of microplastic. Marine debris is one of the problems that need to be addressed globally, because marine debris isn't just a problem of one country and for one country coastline and seas only. It's everybody's problems that need to be solved. Think about the waste that you produce. Ensure that you are responsible for assuring that it gets recycled and using alternative to plastic. And learn about the issues, because with knowledge, you can make a difference in everyday life. Don't let the movement of trash be as exciting as the movement of fishes in the sea.
IPB University, in collaboration with Victoria University of Wellington, have invited students to explore tropical island and marine diversity in Hoga and Kaledupa Island, Wakatobi, Southeast Sulawesi through a summer course program. The summer course was attended by 13 students from IPB University and Victoria University of Wellington who came from several countries such as New Zealand, the United States, Sri Lanka, India, and Indonesia. Hoga Island is one of Wakatobi Island located east to the Kaledupa Island. The island has an extraordinary diversity of marine life and is located in the heart of the Coral Triangle, becoming the first island of Operation Malaysia Marine Site. The island is also a learning station for marine diversity, especially the world coral reefs. Previously, 3 summer course programs between IPB University and Victoria University of Wellington have been conducted at this location. The summer course activities including field lecture on coral reef diversity, reef fish, seagrass, mangrove, and benthic habitats. Students learn firsthand about reef and reef fish identification method, density calculation, and data analysis. The students were then put in pairs or a buddy system for the snorkeling activity in coral, seagrass, and mangrove ecosystem. The most interesting thing for the student is the Seagrass Night Safari, an activity which is a biodiversity exploration at night. Students were equipped with booties, flashlight, and bathing cups, walk from the beach to the middle of the receding sea. Under the light of the full moon, they witnessed the beauty and uniqueness of marine life trapped in the water basin in the seagrass ecosystem. Participants were also excited to find canary crab or coconut crabs, which are the largest land arthropods in the world. This crab is known for its ability to peel coconut with a hard claw. The coconut crab is protected by the Minister of Forestry degree and categorized as rare and endangered species according to the International Union for Conservation of the Nature. The summer course activity can strengthen academic and research cooperation in the marine field, especially between IPB University and Victoria University of Wellington. The summer course will be held biennial, and we'll see you again in summer course 2026.
Indonesia is one of the richest ecosystems in the world, place where Indian and Pacific Ocean met, with mega biodiversity in mangrove, seagrass, and coral reef ecosystem. With 70% of Indonesia area being water, the potential that the Indonesian Ocean have is also very large. But behind this great potential, there are various threats that exist in it. One of them being marine debris. Marine debris threatens marine life. Plastic originating from rivers, household waste, industry, tourism, and ghost fishing. With marine debris being one of the serious problems, such as entangled species, garbage that is eaten by marine animals, and also destroy the aesthetic of marine ecosystem. With that, IPB University carries out various collaborative research and monitoring related to marine debris. Long-term microplastic research was carried out together with Germany Germany by involving students and producing several publications. Apart from research, action and outreach were carried out in the field involving the community, carrying out clean action in the surrounding environment, coastal cleanup, socialization, and participating in various kinds of competition in the field of microplastic. Marine debris is one of the problems that need to be addressed globally, because marine debris isn't just a problem of one country and for one country coastline and seas only. It's everybody's problems that need to be solved. think about the waste that you produce. Ensure that you are responsible for assuring that it gets recycled and using alternative to plastic. And learn about the issues, because with knowledge, you can make a difference in everyday life. Don't let the movement of trash be as exciting as the movement of fishes in the sea.
I'm sitting alone, nobody to hold. The people in here are crazy. Faking a smile now, been here for a while now. I'm fed up with this, I just wanna go home. But damn, that girl set me up with her. Dance with me, baby, dance with me, baby, let's get lost right here. Dance with me, baby, under the chandelier. Dance with me, baby, don't turn me down for him. What does he have that I can't give to you, girl? I can't understand this. This guy's just a douchebag. I'm so disappointed in myself. The look on her face is, I hope we go places. I'm left alone. Should have stayed at home and searched how to date on Chrome. Dance with me, baby, let's get lost right here. Dance with me, baby, under the chandelier. Dance with me, baby, don't turn me down for him. What does he have that I can't give to you, girl?
Indonesia exhibits the largest marine biodiversity in the world, where we can discover unique varieties and countless types of marine ecosystems. The IPB University International Undergraduate Program in Marine Science and Technology applies cutting-edge science and technology to explore marine resources and the environment. In this major, we can learn about marine hydrology, oceanography, underwater acoustic, marine instrumentation and robotics, and remote intelligence. Our excellent research facilities, field courses, summer and winter courses, as well as innovative lecturers and researchers in the marine field became a solid reason for you to join the International Program of Marine Science and Technology at IPB University. It is the right place to pursue the knowledge in the field of marine sciences. Marine Science and Technology. Learn to love the ocean with knowledge.
From the highlands to ocean, as it is more widely known, Indonesia is renowned with an abundant supply of water resources. Bacteria, fungi, plankton, banthas, aquatic plants, fishes, amphibians, and aquatic mammals fill the waters of Indonesia. Department of Aquatic Resources Management researches in the management efforts of the waters and its biota. Located in Dramaga Bogor, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, IPB University. As an educational institution, there are many supporting facilities available, including advanced laboratory and an integrated lab in Pelabuhan Ratu and Ancol that assist any field of research with classrooms that meet international standards. Aquatic Environment Productivity Division, Ecobiology and Aquatic Resources Conservation Division, and Fishery Resources Management Division are the three divisions of the Department of ARM. The three Dharma of Education, Research, and Community Service are managed by the Department of ARM. Both academic, lecture, practice, and internship, and extracurricular, sports, organization, diving, field trips, Bappenas, and bootcamp activities are included. IPB University has received numerous awards, hence it is listed in the World-Class University ranking. The Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science engages in a variety of partnerships with local and foreign universities, as well as research institutes and corporate businesses. The Department of ARM is known for its accomplishments as the most productive in publishing research journals. It also receives support from qualified academic staffs in carrying out its education. Many students have achieved to both national and international scenes, including Pekan Ilmiah Mahasiswa. Students are trained to be competent in special planning of the coast, sea, small islands, and inland waters. 2. Integrated management of coastal, sea, small islands, and inland waters. 3. Socio-ecological systems of marine and inland fisheries. 4. Conservation biodiversity. 5. Blue economy and blue carbon. 6. Assessment, mitigation, and rehabilitation of aquatic pollution. The alumni of ARM department work in a wide range of fields as lecturer, researchers, government employees, commercial businesses, and non-profit organizations. In carrying out the Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, ARM collaborates with companies and universities, both domestic and international, through PKKM or Independence Campus Competition Program. Be part of the expert management of aquatic resources by joining together in the Department of Aquatic Resources Management, IP.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second keynote speaker is Bapak Arief Havas Oegroseno, SHLLM, the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia. Bapak Arief Havas is a leading figure in international diplomacy and maritime law. His work focused on fostering international cooperation to address complex global challenges. He will be speaking on the topic international collaboration, recognizing and navigating the need for the international cooperation and collaboration to address ocean issues that transcend national borders. Bapak Arief Havas, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Nanda, for the kind introductions. Let me first of all express my thanks to Professor Dr. Rachmat Pambudy, Minister for National Development Agency, Bappenas, Also to my good friend, Professor Dr. Arief Satria, Rector of IPB, and also Professor Dr. Insinyur Ferdinand Julianda, Dean of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Sciences, and also all the colleagues in IPB who have been known for many years. And thank you very much for the invitations to speak at this August momentum now. My assignment is to speak about international cooperations and collaborations to address ocean issues that transcend national borders. I want to start by sharing with you my my story when I participated the United Nations conventions on oceans, UNOC, that was just recently completed in Nice, in France. In Nice, in France, I was the deputy of the Indonesian delegation. It was led by our Minister of Fishery, Terengganu. And in Nice, I met many different colleagues that I've known in the ocean world, and also I've met a new colleague also from the ocean world, and specifically on the international cooperation and financing element of it. I was quite surprised learning from different analysis in Nice, whether it's from the financial world, or it comes from the World Bank, or it comes from the United Nations itself, that apparently the SDG 14, SDG about ocean, SDG life below water, it is the least finance of all SDG. This is quite disconcerting for me. This is very, very concerning, because 80% of our planet is ocean, and I think half of the human population, if not more, of our planet Earth, we live on the coastal area. And we also see that many countries in the Pacific, or in the Caribbean, or in Africa, that might have to move somewhere because of the rising sea level. So the challenge from the oceans, the challenge against the oceans, the challenge about the oceans are getting even more grave. But at the same time, the financing, it's very limited. The world needs somewhere around 175 billion US dollar every year for ocean financing, and currently there is only 5 billion US dollar. So basically the world lacks over 170 billion US dollar every year in terms of ocean financing. So this is the condition that it was faced by many countries. So this condition that is faced by international community. So then the question is, what can we do about it? What can the government do about it? What can the academic do about it? Industry and any other parts of international community can do about it. So this is the biggest challenge I would imagine. So I think in this conference today will hopefully provide some recommendations to address this very important issue of lack of financing in terms of the ocean management. So that is one. Now, secondly, what should we look? What should we concentrate upon when we are going to discuss? We are going to address on the ocean financing. There are a couple of things that we can look at it in terms of how we raise finance to to provide the necessary and necessity requirements for different countries to mitigate and adapt climate change. The first, I think, that is now getting more and more important is about the blue economy. The blue economy itself has many different aspects. I believe that all of you, and experts, professors on oceans, you have your own different perception of what blue economy is all about. But at least in my shallow understanding, about the blue economy, at least we can divide it into a couple of elements. So one subdivision is about the blue food. It's part of the blue economy, where the carbon footprint of blue food is very low, and protein is now stronger source of consumption coming from the oceans, and also the seaweed farming, for instance, are playing a very important role in terms of blue food. Now, in addition to blue food, I think when you talk about blue economy, you also mentioned about the blue carbon. The blue carbon has been discussed in many different arena. The idea has been kicked around for a while. And I think our challenge in Indonesia is, number one, is to finish the carbon economy regulatory frameworks. And then secondly, to define what are the blue carbon that Indonesia is required or is prepared to leverage. So in our case, I would imagine the mangrove is one element of Indonesian blue carbon. Our mangrove is the largest in the world, at least 4 million hectares, which is actually 15% of the total global potential carbon credit. That is our mangrove. And then we also have the seagrasses and corals as part of the blue carbon. This is something that we need to bring into a reality. So many academic works needs to be brought into reality so that the financing of our mitigation and adaptation of the ocean can come from the source of the blue carbon. So blue food, blue carbon. The other element I think would include sustainable marine tourism. We also include the issue of green shipping, and also climate smart fisheries, for instance. So those are those elements that we can look at it in a more comprehensive way. So the government, I think Bappenas has already established a very good policy planning. It's under the sustainable ocean economies. So this would be a very strong element for Indonesia to work with. So within the context of sustainable ocean economies, we have the issue of food, for instance. We also have the issue of carbon credit, for instance, another issue, and then many other element of it. So it should be both element of costing and receiving finances from these different activities. Now, there is also another important aspect in the sustainable ocean economy, which is the protection, which is the conservation. And MPA, I think, should play a very important role in Indonesia to be developed very strongly. Now, when we mention about blue food, blue carbon, green shipping, climate smart fisheries, marine protected areas, MPA, these are elements that we need international cooperation, bilaterally, regionally, and I think globally. So when we talk about blue food, for instance, Indonesia is apparently one of the founding members of the UN Global Seaweed Initiative. That is a very important aspect of it. We are also a member of the Aquatic Blue Food Coalitions as part of the global attempt to diversify market access in blue food sector. And in the area of blue carbon, I think we just recently launched coral reef pond, for instance, and many countries were quite interested in having this kind of cooperations with the industry. And also in terms of green shipping, in terms of climate smart fisheries, and also in terms of marine protected areas, I think Indonesia also need to work together with different players around the world. So I think international cooperation is very important because it will become a source of finance. It will become a source of knowledge from different parts of the world. So this, I think, the key issue that we face today. Now, I want to go also to another aspect of ocean management, which is the sustainable use of marine resources. I think we have a very clear mandate under UNCLOS, especially when you talk about living marine resources, then we are talking about our EEZ. And if we are talking about non-living marine resources, mostly we are talking about the continental shelves. Now, when we talk about marine living resources in the EEZ, then we are now looking at how we responsibly manage our fishery in the EEZ. Now, I believe all of you experts know or understand very well which it's all about. But I want to share with you one particular interesting development in the context of sustainable use of living marine resources in the EEZ. It's the ongoing discussion in WTO. I believe many of you are aware of this. And for those who are not aware, I would like to share with you in SDG 14, there is an element that specifically mentioned about harmful subsidy that creates illegal fishing. Okay. Now, these harmful subsidies have been provided by certain countries, those especially who have what we call the distant water fleet. So DWF. These are countries who fish far, far away beyond its shores. There are countries in Asia who subsidize distant water fleet to fish in the Atlantic, Southern Atlantic, fish in the Indian Ocean, southern part of Indonesia, so far, far away from their location. Or those come from Europe, and they have activities on fisheries in the Pacific, for instance. So far, far away from Europe. So this is the problem in illegal fishing. And this is a problem also in the conservation of fisheries. Now, the WTO fishery subsidy agreement would like to limit or reduce or eliminate this type of activities. It's a very good efforts. It's a very excellent approach. But we have some problems with the WTO fishery subsidies, which is that these rules also applies to EEZ of our own EEZ, of our own waters. So instead of concentrating on the rights of countries to subsidize the distant water fishing vessel, they are also talking about the subsidies that's been given by countries like Indonesia to their own fishermen in their own waters. So imagine if this is being regulated without understanding what is going on in countries. So Indonesia will not be able anymore to finance or to subsidize our small fishermen, because then the WTO says, no, you are not allowed to do that. So this is an encroachment of conventional law of the sea. So if any of you expert professors would like to have a discussion with me or with my team or with colleague from the Ministry of Trade or colleague with the Ministry of Fishery, please do so. We're very interested in having a discussion with academics on the negative impact of the WTO fisheries subsidy agreement that is going on in Geneva today. So that is one aspect, yeah, on the sustainable marine resources, living resources. The second aspect is the sustainable use of non-living marine resources, which is minerals. Okay, so Indonesia is part of the International Seabed Authority, and we have already also extended continental shelf in certain part of Indonesia. So I think we need to move into the realizations of the mining, responsible mining in the extended continental shelf of Indonesia, as well as in the International Seabed Authority. Now, last but not least, what I would like to mention also the protection of the marine environment. Under the convention, I think in chapter 12, we have a very clear obligations to protect our oceans. We have a general obligations under the conventions, article, I think 192, if my memory serves me right. So 192 of Convention of Law of the Sea provides the general legal obligation of countries to protect and preserve the marine environment. And also in the chapter 12, countries have to create a measures or set of measures to prevent, reduce, and control pollutions from any sources going to the sea. So this is a very broad language, but I think this is a very important element that is relevant for our today's situation. We have, for instance, marine plastic debris in the Indo-Pacific, for instance. Yeah, this is again something that require international cooperations. But there is also a case, a very famous case, Montara case, where we have the oil spill coming from the Australian continental shelf by a Thai company, PDTEP, and the spill went to different islands in Flores. I think this is also a factor that we all need to consider, because there are a lot of oil and gas operations in that part of the world, and there is still lack of legal arrangements in that part of the world in case of this kind of situations happens. Unlike in Straits of Malacca and Singapore, that we have already a very clear rule to prevent, reduce, and control pollutions by vessels in Straits of Malacca and Strait of Singapore, but it's still lacking in the eastern part of the Indian Oceans, the Timor Sea part. So this is something that we need to develop in the future. And then last but not least, I think in terms of protection of the environment is the BBNJ, the biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. Is a very important new international treaty, new development that we all need to look at it very, very carefully. So in conclusions, I would like to give some points from my short remarks. Is number one is that the SDG 14 is the least finance SDG, and therefore the meeting today is a very important meeting to look at the issue of financing, to look at the issue of how we can organize financing in the mitigation and adaptations of the oceans. And number two, I think international cooperation is very, very key, very crucial in terms of ocean management. Now, when we talk about international cooperations, and it should not only between countries, but also within countries and academics. But I think more importantly, something that has been missing for so many years is cooperation between academic with industry or government with industry. Because industry has the money, they have the finance, but they are never be part of the discussions of the oceans for different purposes. Blue food, blue carbon, EEZ protection, mining, protection of the environment, BBNG, they're not part of it. So I believe when we talk about international community, we need to expand the horizon. So not only between governments, not only between governments and academics, or between academics like what we are seeing today, but we need to find a way how to bring industry in the discussions of the ocean management. So I think these are the two main messages that I'm going to share with you today. Number one, that SDG 14 is the least finance. And second, we need international cooperations in terms of ocean management, whether it's biodiversity, sustainability, or resilience, but we need to bring private sector and industry in the picture. So once again, thank you very much for listening to me. I hope it's not, boring you to the death, and I hope this has been very useful in this, quick chat with all of you. So terima kasih, Mbak Nanda. Thank you very much. Regards to Professor Arief Satria, and I hope to be able to see you, and hope at some point I'll go to IPB myself in person. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bapak Arief Havas, for such enlightening presentation. Before we proceed to the next session, we would like to remind all participants to fill out the attendance form. The link will be provided by the committee in the chat box. Also, we have a special giveaway. You have a chance to win a prize by uploading a photo or video of today's event to your Instagram story or feed. Don't forget to tag and mention at embryo.ipb. We will announce the winner later. We are now opening season 1. This season will be guided by our moderator, Dr. Sebastian Verse, as long-term DAAD Indonesian lecturer IPB University. He is an expert in coral reef and marine ecology and has been a great collaborator with IPB University. Hello, Dr. Sebastian.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Oh, glad to hear that. Dr. Sebastian, we are handing over the session to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the kind introduction, and it's my great pleasure to moderate the next session. We have two interesting speakers, and the session I find follows really well from the great remarks by Dr. Oegroseno. So we have two speakers. The first one is Pilar Velásquez Jofre, and she's going to talk more about ocean sustainability. And then we have a second speaker, Professor Dr. Fang Qinhua from Xiamen University, who talks more about SDG 14. So both of these topics are really relevant to the remarks we just had now. Let me briefly introduce to you the first speaker. So that's Pilar. Pilar is a biologist with a strong background in research and management of coastal marine ecosystems, as well as conservation and institutional planning. She's currently a PhD candidate in social sciences at San Carlos University of Guatemala. She holds a Master of Science in Aquatic Tropical Ecology from Bremen University, together with the Leibniz Center for Tropical Marine Ecology around 10 years ago. And I'm delighted to say she was actually one of my students, and has a bachelor's degree in biology from San Carlos University of Guatemala, which she finished in 2008. Pilar is a published author with works focusing on topics like marine spatial planning, mangrove connectivity, and the conservation of pelagic birds. Her publications and conference presentations reflect her expertise in marine protected areas and conservation management. And she will now talk to us with a few reflections about ocean sustainability. Pilar, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. So nice to see you in this space. So for the organizers, thank you very much for the invitation. So in the next following 15 minutes or so, I will share with you a few reflections about ocean sustainability. So I don't know if someone is managing my presentation or if I should do it.
Sure, I think you should show your slides, Pilar.
Okay, no worries. Just let me know once you can see them.
We can see the presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So as I was mentioning, we will talk a little bit about a few reflections about ocean sustainability. What is ocean sustainability in the end? How do we eat this? So first and foremost, as Sebastian was mentioning, nowadays I'm running a very small Guatemalan NGO. En Spanish, Instituto Científico de Investigaciones Aplicadas al Ambiente y Desarrollo, very long name. That in English stands for Institute for Applied Research on Environment and Development. So basically, this small NGO is focusing on marine coastal management, economics for the environment, and project management. So what we will address now, basically, what is ocean sustainability? All of us understand the same when we speak about ocean sustainability. One of the main questions, what for? Why do we have a need for the ocean activities to be sustainable? For whom? For whom are we doing this? How do we do it? Are there ways to achieve it? And the most important questions today, is it an utopia or it can be a reality? So basically, the pictures that you will see in my presentations are from the coastal area that ICIAAD and myself have been working for more than 15 years. This is a coastal area located in the Guatemalan Pacific, bordering with El Salvador. So all the pictures that you will see now are taken in this area. So please think, when you see this kind of ecosystem, what do you see? Definitely, we will have different answers to this question, and it will depend on the perception and the relationship that you have with this kind of environment. Some people will see housing opportunities, and other people will see opportunities for maritime transport. Other people will see fishing grounds that they have been using for several generations. Other people, on a more scientific way, will look at the largest carbon sink on Earth. Other people will see recreational spaces that they can use to provide livelihoods for their house. Other people will see business opportunities, like places for establishing little restaurants or hotels. Other people will see a place that needs to be protected. All of us scientists will look at a place to do research, and etc., 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 perceptions about this space. So as you see, we have, again, a space with different perceptions, with different interests that needs to find a common point for it to achieve its sustainability. So what is ocean sustainability in the end? Basically, ocean sustainability is an idea of using, managing, and protecting the ocean and its resources. And most importantly, ocean sustainability is not only an ecological concept, and that needs to be very clear. It's also a social concept. We have thousands of people depending directly or indirectly of the ocean. So ocean sustainability looks for, again, using, managing, and protecting the ocean and its resources, but taking into consideration an ecological sphere and a social sphere, and the combination of these spheres looks for the balance that will achieve that we can continue using the ecosystem services that the ocean provides to us. Some key dimensions of ocean sustainability, definitely, it's ecological health. Very important, human health. We cannot speak about ocean sustainability if we are dealing with coastal local communities with the highest rates of diabetes, kidney disease, high blood pressure diseases, and so on. So we need to consider also this when talking about ocean sustainability. Definitely the sustainable use of resources, pollution prevention, specifically with plastics, that is a huge threat worldwide, climate regulation, equity and livelihoods, governance and cooperation, as the previous speaker mentioned, and other key dimensions that take into consideration all the different perceptions and interests that basically we can find in the same space. But another reflection, what for? It's not only for the sake of science, it's not only for the sake of the ocean. Ocean sustainability needs to take into consideration to meet the needs of people. What kind of needs? Definitely basic survival needs, food, oxygen, freshwater cycle, economic needs, jobs and income, transport, energy, environmental and climate needs, especially climate regulation, coastal protection, and biodiversity. And also the cultural and social needs, the identity and traditions, the recreation and well-being, and the inspiration needs that we all as people have. For whom? Basically, we need to speak about ocean sustainability for everyone, specifically for about 3 billion people that directly rely on seafood from nutrition, for 20+ million people that directly rely on ocean-based jobs, and as I mentioned previously, for everyone, as all of us relied on the ocean's climate and life support systems. So when talking about ocean sustainability, we need to take into consideration the social component of it. Again, it's not just for the sake of science, it's not just for the sake of data collection, it's for the sake of people. And now we have to question ourselves, how do we do this? How do we achieve ocean sustainability? Taking into consideration what we just spoke about. We need to find ways that meet the needs of people today, the ones that we are breathing and living in planet Earth today, and most importantly, without damaging the ocean's ability to support future generations, ecosystems, and climate stability. So again, it's not only for the sake of people, but it's also for the sake of ecosystems and the climate stability that nowadays we see declining. But the key question is how to achieve it. And basically, that is the trickiest question of all. We have heard about different methodologies and different approaches to achieve ocean sustainability. One of these is marine spatial planning. Another one is integrated coastal zone management that Dr. Fang will speak about in a minute. But there are also other ways to achieve ocean sustainability. For example, market mechanisms, like the ones that the previous speaker was talking about. There are several options for us to achieve ocean sustainability. For example, the Marine Stewardship Council for certifying fisheries. I had the opportunity to work for around six years with the spiny lobster fisheries in Honduras and Nicaragua, trying to achieve the certification that not only looks at the sustainability of the fish stock itself, but also the sustainability of good practices, the sustainability on the environment where the fishery takes place, and so on. It might be an option also to achieve ocean sustainability. Payment for ecosystem services. We now are seeing a lot of initiatives trying to establish payment schemes for these ecosystem services that are provided to several industries, several stakeholders all around the world. Pollution and carbon pricing. If you are polluting, you have to pay for it. Blue bonds and sustainable finance. But also a way to achieve it might be the combination of all the above. So there are several ways. This is the trickiest question of all, but we have to explore which one is the way relevant to our region to try to achieve ocean sustainability. So as you have seen, we have different interests, different perceptions, different uses of this space that we call the ocean and the coastal marine ecosystems. So if it's that different, that complicated, that complex, ocean sustainability is an utopia, or it can be a reality. Based on my experience, based on the multiple examples I have seen in the world and you have seen around the world, definitely ocean sustainability can become a reality. But we need to take into consideration the following messages. As I was saying before, definitely ocean sustainability is not just a matter of science. It's not just a matter of data collection. It's not just a matter of having the best sampling effort. Ocean sustainability can be a reality if we are able to understand and try to find communalities of common grounds in a sea of different interests, relations, and perceptions about the oceans. So that is why we cannot only focus on the biological and the oceanographic and the hard science part of ocean sustainability. We also need to focus on the social component of it. Definitely, not every technical approach or solution works everywhere. As I was mentioning before, perhaps the Marine Stewardship Council certification worked for Nicaragua to achieve some sort of ocean sustainability in the Nicaraguan Caribbean, but that it might not work everywhere. So we need to be very critical about the approaches that we will take into consideration to try to achieve ocean sustainability. Definitely, it takes time. But the hot question here is, but do we have the time? I know it's true that we need to focus and we need to use the best available science to take informed decisions, but do we have time to collect and to produce this perfect data set for us to take decisions? Especially in these times of climate change? A reflection that I would like for you to take time thinking about it. And definitely, all the stakeholders need to be considered and heard. We cannot continue speaking about top-down approaches for ocean sustainability, for ocean conservation, for ocean management. We have several actors that hasn't been taken into consideration in conservation strategies, in management strategies, and that is the reason why these strategies do not work in the end. And definitely, as the previous speaker was mentioning, we need to bring to the table the industries and the private sector that are only, in most of the cases, taking advantage of the ocean and the ecosystem services that the ocean provides, but are not putting any kind of cooperation, mainly financial, for us to achieve ocean sustainability. So with this, I would like you to analyze in the context of this symposium if ocean sustainability is a utopia or it can be a reality. And definitely all of us play a role in achieving it from where we are standing. So I finish with this, and I guess I will stay now for any questions or comments when Sebastian's ask us to. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks, Pilar. I would suggest that we listen to the second presentation first, and then we move to the questions and answer session afterwards, if that's fine. So please do stay in the room, and we will continue with the second presentation. The second speaker is not with us in person. Unfortunately, we have a recorded presentation. So we will focus with the Q&A on Pilar, but maybe there are also overarching questions from the audience that come to the topic of both of these presentations. So please keep your questions until the end. And let me briefly introduce to you the second speaker. So this is Professor Dr. Fang Qinhua, who's a professor at the College of the Environment and Ecology at Xiamen University in China. He also serves as the Deputy Director of the Coastal and Ocean Management Institute, COMI, and is a Vice Chair of the PEMC network of learning centers. His areas of expertise include environmental system analysis, marine spatial planning, and environmental policy studies. Professor Qinhua holds a PhD in environmental science from Xiamen University, where he also completed master-level coursework in economics and environmental science, and has a Bachelor of Science in Water Resources and Environment from Sun Yat-sen University. His recent research includes work on mangrove areas under human pressure in Southeast Asia, a multi-tiered restoration framework for coastal ecosystems, an evaluation of China's marine sustainability under SDG 14, and an analysis of vulnerable megafauna diversity using spatial data. And with that, I would like to ask the moderators to please play the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation of the organizers of the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium. I'm very honored being here with the symposium to share with you my research in China. Good morning, distinguished guests and colleagues. Today we present how is China's marine sustainable development and assessment based on SDG 14. Our presentation has 4 parts. First is the background. In 2015, the UN adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 14 aims to conserve and sustainably use oceans. Yet, oceans face severe threats such as biodiversity loss from multiple causes, including overfishing, climate change, and marine pollution. The global SDG 14 progress has been conducted at a different scale worldwide. At the global scale assessment, the recent UN report reveals it is not optimistic. Also, the Asia-Pacific region shows the slow progress, especially on SDG 14.7. Meanwhile, at the national level, China, Indonesia, and other Southeast Asian nations are facing similar challenges in marine sustainability, although different countries may rank higher or lower. Now we move to the second part, assessment framework and indicators. We develop a framework which integrates land-ocean processes and couples SDG 14 targets with the PSR model, which means pressure state response, to evaluate China's coastal system. We collected various sources of data between 2012 to 2021. The result shows China's Marine Sustainable Development Index, we call CMSD, increased by about 3% in this period. And looking to the PSR scores, we found the pressure index also increased by about 3%, and the state index increased by more than 18%, which is a good news. However, the response index decreased by 14.8%, which reminds us the room to improve in terms of governance measure. Look especially to all coastal provinces. We found for all coastal provinces of China, the Marine Sustainable Development Indexes are pressure dominated. For example, the pollution, the overfishing. And CMSD varies significantly across the provinces, though gradients are minor. For SDG 14 sub-targets, the progress is uneven across the SDG 14 targets. The largest gaps are between SDG 14.1, which is marine pollution, and SDG 14.5, which is the marine protected areas. The synergy trade-off relationship among SDG 14 sub-targets shows no significant improvement. The path-specific strategies are needed. So here is some detailed result of the path analysis. The system dynamics modeling reveals the management strengthening pathway is optimal for SDG 14.2 and 14.4. And green development pathway is preferred for other targets. Part 3 of my presentation focuses on sustainable fisheries and food security. We evaluate fisheries through 3 pillars: economic, social, and environmental sustainability, which link to the 24 SDG aligned sub-targets. Through the network, we found that marine fisheries are vital for food security and biodiversity conservation. So that's the dual role of our framework quantifies. So from 2016 to 2022, the fisheries sustainability improved overall. And look into the subsystem, we see the economic subsystem progress most, and however the social subsystem a little bit lack. The provinces are classified into 4 tiers. The coordination among subsystems increase, but the regional disparity persists, and the eastern provinces are leading in the economic environmental performance. We now analyze the coupling coordination degree, which we call the CCD, of China's marine fishery subsystem to measure how synergistically economic, social, and environmental interact. So temporarily, CCD shows a static increase from 2016 to 2022, which is indicating the 3 subsystems now collaborate better than before. However, provincially, regional cluster into 4 distinct tiers of coordination degree that reveals a coordination paradox, national improvement mask a persistent regional divide. And we also do the analysis of the obstacle degree of indicators in different systems. In terms of the economic system, the top barriers, which account for more than 75% impact, are level of development of distant water fisheries, the economic efficiency of marine production fishery vessels, the intensity of exporting aquatic products, and the output value of marine fisheries. And the social obstacle, which top account for more than 90%, the intensity of technical training for fishermen, the ability to promote employment for coastal residents, the extent of fishery public information dissemination, the ability to ensure food security, and the regulatory and the enforcement capacity. And the environmental obstacle comes from the carbon sequestration capacity of marine fisheries and the protection of aquatic breeding stock. Conclusions and outlook. So we developed a marine sustainable development assessment framework based on China's context and found some important results for China's sustainable coastal development. So we also hope the framework can be customized to other countries like Indonesia. So please let me know if you are interested. The assessment of fishery sustainability shows fisheries' critical role in the climate change and the food security and other sustainable development goals. So we also welcome to work with you together in this scope. So our future work will integrate social climate ecosystem system addressing the coastal sustainable development issues from a perspective of social ecological system theories. So thank you for your attention. I welcome your questions through email. Thank you very much.
Okay, great to hear that presentation by Professor Wang Qinhua. So as we said, unfortunately, Professor Qinhua is not able to join this discussion. So if you have questions to Pilar's presentation, then please raise your hand and ask those questions. You can also put them in the chat, but I don't see any questions in the chat. So I encourage participants to simply raise their hand or unmute themselves. There is one question in the chat from Firsta Kusuma. I have a question for Pilar. You said not every technical approach or solution works everywhere. And I think everyone agrees that not everybody has the same role. As academics, what significant role do you think we can play? What can we do and how can we address the challenges?
Okay, thanks for the question. A very good one. So definitely when thinking about ocean sustainability, we need to think about the space in which we are trying to achieve it. Us as academics, as the ones that hold the data, hold information, hold holistic approach on how to tackle certain issues, is our duty, and I will say our obligation, to provide all the scientific information to all the stakeholders in formats in which they are able to understand it. So for example, how to translate the presentation that we just saw to a format in which a fisherman in Indonesia, a fisherman in Guatemala, a fisherman in Nicaragua can understand it. That is our role. We are the holders of the information, but we need to translate it to formats in which it can be used and it can be understandable for everybody. If we are not able to translate that kind of information to these formats, what are we doing? So I don't know if I answered your question with that remark.
Thanks, Pilar. I think that was a good and sound answer. I also like that you say we need to learn to be better communicators, because oftentimes, at least in the scientific system that I grew up in, many scientists still have the stance the data speaks for itself, and my job is just to produce the data, and it's not my job to make sure that the data is actually being applied, or what happens with it afterwards. And I think there are different views on that, and it's okay to try and be neutral and to remain a provider of credible data, and you need to be careful not to be seen as having an agenda. But I still think, and that's also what we're teaching in the ICIAAD program that Pilar went through, that you need to be able to communicate. That doesn't mean that you need to take a position, but at least to make sure that the data that you're producing is understandable by different kinds of users.
Exactly. So, and the thing is that, if I might add, most of the times we have local people helping in the field with our research, and we need to be smart enough and conscious enough for them to truly understand what are they supporting in the field. For example, I have a long time relationship with my field technician in Guatemala. She is one of the few women fishermen in the Pacific. And it's amazing how she communicates the scientific work that we are doing to all the women groups she takes part of. It's amazing. She is a scientist by herself without having a fancy biology or PhD degree. So that is also our role, to create local scientists that are able to speak peer-to-peer with the people we are not in contact the whole time. So definitely communication is a huge deal that we need to be focusing on as academics.
Thanks a lot, Pilar. It's really obvious that you spend a lot of time also in the field and not just in the academic ivory tower or in the laboratory. And so I think that's very valuable insights that you have. I could add, Pilar actually for her master's was doing research in North Sulawesi in Indonesia, so she's also familiar with the Indonesian context. So again, to the audience, any further questions? We still have about 5 minutes for questions. Please go ahead. Raise your hand, or if for some reason it doesn't work, please feel free to type in the chat.
Feel free to speak. I do not bite.
In the meantime, while other people are typing their questions, because I'm sure that there are many questions, I would ask a quick question. I see Radiksa has a hand up. Okay, then I'll just hand over to Mas Radiksa. So please go ahead and ask.
Okay, can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Sebastian. My name is Radiksa and I'm from Indonesia. I would like to ask a question to Ms. Pilar. So I think both of our country, Indonesia and Guatemala, perhaps may share some similar features, as has a lot of people that live heavily dependent on the ocean. And I think it would be interesting if you can share some of your experience in Guatemala about how you create a sustainable environment for the marine ecosystem or the marine fisheries or another aspect of the maritime sector. So I think it would be an interesting discussion for us. Maybe you could share some your thoughts and your experience. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks Radiksa for your question. And I will speak about how I shift my focus to as a conservation practitioner to a social practitioner in the end. And that is, and you will see why is there, which one is the reason why, as a biologist, I decided starting a PhD on social science. A lot of people is like, but Pilar, biologist? I know you're studying social sciences. What is happening? So after I finished my master's in Germany, supervised by Sebastian, so I came back to Guatemala to work again for the National Council of Protected Areas, the national authority regarding biological diversity and protected areas. So I was entrusted with designing a proposal for a marine protected area for Las Lisas Conservation Area, the area I have been working for more than 15 years now. So during this process, we decided to use a marine planning approach to design this MPA proposal. So it was a 3-year-long process. And given the fact that we decided to use an MSP approach, a stakeholder consultation was mandatory. But I'm not talking about just inviting everyone for a workshop 2 or 3 months apart. I'm talking about a real consultation process in the field, taking information to the field, discussing information with local stakeholders, in specific with 8 coastal communities that ended up being included in the polygon of the marine protected area. So we basically end up, that was like in 2018, with an MPA proposal, one of the biggest ones that was proposed in Guatemala but that year, that was basically not only focusing in coastal marine conservation and all this biological jargon that we need to conserve the oceans, but it was designed for the people, by the people. So unfortunately, given the bureaucracy here in Guatemala, nothing has happened yet. The proposal is still there. But as we continue working in the field with these 8 communities, a lot of fishermen starting asking, but Pilar, what we will do for fishing where the no-take zones are put in place? How we will provide protein to our family? How we will provide fish for our family? So given that local concerns, that direct local concerns to us, we decided to switch the approach that ICIAAD was implementing in the field. So by now, for how many years? For 4 years by now, we are working, establishing savings clubs for fishermen in order to create financial resilience in the communities that are included within this MPA proposal. So believe it or not, these savings clubs are around 3 years old now, and you cannot believe the amount of savings that these people got in the bank right now. Logically, this doesn't come only with, you need to save money. Once you have saved all this money, how you will use it in a smart way for you to provide when the limitations of this MPA proposal comes to play. So again, it's not a matter of conservation, pure conservation. It's a matter of thinking about the direct beneficiaries of this conservation measure that will be affected in one way or another by its put in place. So as I was mentioning in my talk, is ocean sustainability is not only about science, it's not only about data, it's thinking about the people that will be benefited by this conservation initiatives. Keep it in mind, it's the same everywhere. And if you want for these conservation initiatives to work, you need to think and put priority on the social component of it.
Thanks,
Ralitza, I
Pilar.
hope this is a good question.
Yes, that's a really insightful answer, because I agree with you that even in Indonesia, we also have some similar conditions. As you will say, it's a universal problem. And I think your one of your solutions about the saving clubs for the fishermen, I think it's really good and important for them to
The words like a
have
charm.
the resilience for them. And I think it might be inspiring for us also to try some kind of those movement in Indonesia. So I would like to thank you for sharing your experience and good luck with your work. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to you too.
Okay, thanks, Mas Radiksa for that very fitting question, and also thanks Pilar for the great answers. Unfortunately, we have to move on to the next session because there is no break. We're directly moving to the next moderator, my dear colleague Prof. Nefi, and the next speakers. But it's been great seeing you again, Pilar.
The same.
All the best
Sama-sama.
to you. And thanks for your insights. And I think the session really underlined very well both speakers how coastal issues are complex issues and they need to be addressed holistically. So we're not just considering the ecological or the biological dimension and domain, but we need to consider economics, social sciences. So thanks again, very well made remarks. And I look forward to the next presentations. Thank you for your attention. So I'm assuming I'm handing back to the moderator, the operator.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you to all invited speakers of session 1, especially for Pilar, Velásquez, Jofre, and Professor Fang, Qinhua. And a special thank you to our moderator, Dr. Sebastian Perse, for leading this insightful discussion. Please note that your certificate of appreciation will be sent to you via email. Now we move to session 2, and the moderator for this session is Professor Nefiati Zamani from IPB University. Professor Nefiati is a leading professor in marine biology with a deep knowledge in marine biodiversity and sustainability. And there are 3 invited speakers have already joined for today. Hello, Professor Nefiati. Hello, Professor. How are you today, Professor?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, clearly. Professor Nefiati, we are heading over decision to you. The stage is yours.
Hello, can you hear my voice? Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, yes. Good afternoon, everybody. And for all of the audience here, welcome to this session for the second session for invited speaker on the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium with the theme Ocean for the Future, Integrating Marine Biodiversity and Sustainability and Resilience. Now in the second session, we have 3 speakers, and I think which is already mentioned that each speaker will spend around 15 minutes for their presentation, and then we follow with question and answer, and then at the end, if we still have some time, then we can have a short panel discussion with all the 3 speakers. So for our first speaker is Professor Dr. Indra Jaya from IPB University. And I would like to read the short CV of Professor Indra Jaya. Professor Indra Jaya is a distinguished professor at IPB University. Okay. And then Professor Indra Jaya also as a head of division of acoustic instrumentation and marine robotic at Department of Marine Science and Technology, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science. And Prof. Indra got a bachelor degree in fisheries from IPB University, Indonesia, then continue for master and doctoral degrees in marine studies with focus on underwater acoustic at the University of Delaware, United States. And following his PhD and research at Department of Mathematics, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, New York, USA. And then it is my great pleasure to invite Prof. Indra today as the third speaker this afternoon, and with the title of Advancing Our Understanding and Protection of Ocean Biodiversity, Enabling Sustainable Resources Management and Ecosystem Restoration by integrating cutting-edge tools such as remote sensing, autonomous vehicle, and AI. So, Professor Indra, now time is yours. So please, you can present your presentation this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Bu Nevi, for the introduction. And thank you, Embryo Committee, for inviting me to speak at this symposium, the 7th International Symposium. It's truly a big honor for me to speak during this symposium. Allow me to share my slide that I have prepared. I hope you all can see the slide by now and hear my voice.
Yes, it is clear,
Yeah.
Prof. Indra.
Okay. Thank you. So the titles of my talk is very long. Actually, it was provided by the committee. Yeah, it's like one paragraph titles, but after considering it, I thought this is very nice titles actually, and so I will give my presentation very much straightforward, in line with the titles of the talk. Yeah. So first, I will talk about the challenges, how we are facing so many challenges on the protecting ocean biodiversity, and then how to enable the sustainable resource management, and then ecosystem restoration. This is three things that I will present. What are the challenges that we are facing at the moment? After that, we'll move to what are the available tools now that we have at our disposal to address these challenges. Yeah. There are three main technology, the emerging technology that I would like to present and discuss with you. The first one related to remote sensing, which is included a satellite and underwater acoustics. And then there's this is a very emerging technology, is autonomous vehicles. And the last one, the artificial intelligence technology. Once we completed that, then we will look at what we are going to do now and the future, yeah, to really come up with a solution to enhance our understanding on achieving these sustainable ocean. So start with these challenges. As you all know, there are so many challenges currently we are facing to protect our biodiversity. Of course, we all witnessed the destruction of our ecosystem and the deconversion of that very important ecosystem to other uses. And then the other challenge, I think previous speaker also mentioned about this pollution, yeah, whether a plastic pollution or which is coming from chemical waste, sediment, and heavy metals, all kind of garbages, enter our ocean. And then the other challenge is that now becoming more and more intense is the increasing of sea level and acidification. As you know, our area with the spread of coral reef are prone to the acidification and increase of sea level. And coupled with that, we feel that we have the inadequate governance, yeah, especially lack of monitoring and enforcement for the effective management. So this is also very important tools that we also need to consider, yeah. And then, like it or not, we still lack of community understanding of the environmental issue. So we have quite a substantial challenges that we are facing to protect our biodiversity. And this is here on my right side, you can see, for example, the effort made by VP, where they plot the condition of Indonesian coral reef in throughout Indonesia, yeah, and you can see we don't have a current data because, as I mentioned, we are lack of monitoring and enforcement of this. When we talk about protecting diversity, we should also willing to invest, yeah, in monitoring activities. So even though we have this highest biodiversity in the world, but our effort to monitor this is very small. So it's tend to be decrease from time to time. But the last time I heard, even though spot wise, there's not much changes, yeah, during the past few years. Okay, the same happened also with our seagrass. We have a very distinct, very important three ecosystem in our area. Yeah. Besides coral reef, there is a seagrass, also mangrove. The status or the health of this ecosystem are also very much worrisome. Yeah. And then next, I would like to talk about the challenges in enabling sustainable resource management. One of the biggest challenges in sustainable resource management is the data gaps and scientific research. Yeah. As you also known, I think, very well, without being able to have accurate data, it's very hard to really use these resources, yeah, because you have to have a good calculation on how much you will get benefit, and then how much you have to pay for maintaining these resources. So we have this data gap, and then pollution, again, to sustainable resource management, enforcement, a similar factor, overlapping jurisdiction and governance. Now, this is one of problems in our country between central government and provincial or a district government. So we have this problem that we need to solve in order to really enable us to sustain our resources. And then, of course, the last one, but not least, is how we can balance this economic development with conservation. We witness there is so many extraction going on in our small islands, for example, that really threatening the conservation effort. So these things are really we need to really pay attention to that. And then the last one, the last challenge is, I think, because I don't have much time here, the ecosystem restoration. As you know, people have a catalog, you know, the restoration effort throughout the world. Yeah, they have mapped this, and then they notice there's a lot of also challenges that we face in the ecosystem restoration. The first one that I think immediately we can see that there's this ecological complexity and scaling up this restoration effort. And also we are facing with the technical, logistic, and financial constraint. Not to mention socio-economic integration and pervasive driver of degradation. And also when we are trying to evaluate, you know, whether our restoration effort is successful or not, it is also one of the major challenges, how we define the success in ensuring long-term viability. So let me give you another interesting result here that was plotted worldwide. Is here a global cumulative impact index and the success. And when you look at this on the left side here, the left side of the slide, the restoration effort, it's, yes, 50%, more than 50% successful on average, yeah. So slightly, yeah, it's a good, at least we, it is comforting us that our restoration effort works. And when people are evaluating, you know, what kind of intervention that, you know, what's the factor that ensure this restoration effort? Here on the right side, my slide here, on the top right, you can see that the major factor is methodology. So when you do the restoration, make sure that you are using the best method available that will ensure you're successful. And then there is a maintenance, of course, yes, a site selection, and then conservation measures. So methodology is very important. And the reason why it's failed, you can see here, and people just doing this restoration without considering the site, you know, unsuitable environmental condition. Maybe there's an extreme hurricane, something like that. That's what happened. So so we need technology, yeah, to help us face that challenges. And as I mentioned, one of the technology that we can use, remote sensing, that give us a big pictures, for example, with this satellite imaging about the condition of our ecosystem. Yeah, from the top you can see the area very good. The coverage is very well, and then you can couple that with underwater acoustic imaging, which can give you more details pictures of the condition, whether they are good or not. So the first thing, of course, you have to identify this habitat, and then evaluate them. And then we have this also cell buoy and cell drone. Yeah, now it's becoming more and more used by scientists. Now, and then we have autonomous vehicles, as I mentioned. This is autonomous vehicle, you can deploy them from the surface. Yeah, so it's autonomous surface vehicles or going underwater. Yeah, underwater. This instrument can be used to inspect, construction or even biota itself. What is the condition? And then the more sophisticated one, which is integrated all these toys that you can use to monitor. So, and then we have the last one is artificial intelligence. Also, can be very useful since most of the time when we work, in the field, the images that we get is very murky. It's a lot of suspended sediment in the water column. But now you can clean that up with the help of image processing and artificial intelligence. So you get a good pictures, and you can also count and evaluate the health of this ecosystem. So it's the tool is available for this artificial intelligence. You can also monitor the environment condition or the biota itself. Yeah. So we have used this in our lab to really evaluate the condition of the biota, whether they are healthy or not. And the last one, this is now what will be what action that need to be taken. Yeah. I think they now becomes more and more available. An instrument which is low and affordable cost. Yeah, so you don't need to go with a high, very expensive equipment, but you have now available for more affordable ocean observation.
1 minute left.
And then the last one is I think we need to promote more collaborative and integrated research. Yeah. Among us, this is very important, and then we need to keep going on doing advocacy to lower the pressure on marine ecosystem. So because our ecosystem are really under heavy pressure now, and so we need to do more advocacy to lower this pressure. I think by doing that, we hope that we can advance our understanding and protection of our ocean resources and biodiversity. I think that's all my presentation, Bu Nevi, and thank you very much for your kind attention. And back to you.
Okay.
Hello, Bu Nevi. Hello, I'm done.
I think Pak Indra is already finished, or hello.
Hello, Professor Neviati. Are you still there?
I think Bu Nevi has problem with her connection. I think.
Maybe we can.
Maybe you can continue as moderator.
Okay, maybe we can continue to our second speaker. Dr. Lisa Becking, are you here with us?
Yes, good morning. At least good morning from Holland.
Good morning.
Morning too.
Shall I start?
Yeah, I think you should start.
Okay.
Oh, okay, sorry, I wasn't certain if there was another introduction. Okay, I will, oh, no.
Okay, you can continue the presentation, Dr. Lisa.
Okay.
The time is yours.
Okay, I will share my screen. Hold on. I can't share my screen because someone else is sharing. Okay, thank you. Okay. Well, good morning from Amsterdam. Good afternoon in Indonesia. So I'm a senior researcher at Naturalis Biodiversity Center in Leiden and associate professor in tropical marine biodiversity in Wageningen University Research in the Netherlands. And what I would like to present today is about the IMRIEF program. This is an interdisciplinary program to build the resilience of marine protected areas and tourism destinations. And particularly for this session, I want to really focus on, I'm going to go a little bit more on some preliminary data on water quality and water quality monitoring, and that links very well with our previous speaker, and coral reefs. Okay, so yes, it's working. So just in a nutshell, of course, coral reefs provide food security, coastal protection, and livelihoods for millions of people worldwide, and also for thousands of people in Indonesia. There are still amazing coral reefs in Indonesia, like the ones you see here. But at the same time, we also see a lot of destruction and transition of coral reefs more to systems like this, full of bacteria and algae. And the causes of decline are quite well known. It's both due to global processes from global climate change, predominantly in the form of increased seawater temperature, as well as local stressors that stress the reefs and cause problems for the reefs. And then you have to think of things of overfishing as well as pollution, and particularly pollution leading to low water quality. Now, there's been quite a lot of attention for temperature and overfishing, and this is good, and that attention needs to be there. One of the more silent killers, let's say, which is gaining attention, but which is sort of kind of was in the shadow of the other two, is really this aspect of water pollution, particularly low water quality, and the effects of low water quality on the coral reef biodiversity. And so that's very much what we're focusing on within our program. And one large source of local change is tourism. And tourism comes in the form of many different shapes. There's mass tourism with cruise ships, as well as all kinds of local forms of tourism. And one of the things that fascinates us as a team is really this double-edged sword that tourism presents. So on the one hand, tourism can finance nature parks, can provide, can stimulate local economies, can bring a certain amount of benefit. On the other hand, if left unchecked, it really can cause major stress and disbalance, both to the societies above water as well as to the ecosystems underwater. And it's furthermore, one of the things that we see is that when you have marine protected areas, so a common way to protect coral reefs, and one way that is commonly used in Indonesia is through marine protected areas. So it's basically identifying a location, and saying, okay, in this area, certain rules apply and you can and can't do certain things, right? But these areas, these marine protected areas, like this picture you see here from Miso, from Raja Ampat, is they're beautiful. They're stunning, and as a result, they're also highly promoted for tourism. However, tourism is often not really regulated in many MPAs. And so that's where our program kind of came in, because I'm from my background, I'm a marine biologist and I was mostly working underwater, but all the places I was working, I was just seeing more and more tourism develop and seeing the effects of tourism on both the local communities and underwater. And so this program, what we're doing is we're kind of looking at, how to balance tourism in marine protected areas in this age of, increasing tourism, but also climate change. And it's kind of trying to aim to identify and develop tools to analyze the resilience of marine protected areas and how to measure it, how to monitor it, and manage it. And so that links quite well again with the speaker before. And of course, this is not only a biology problem, right? So that's why we had in this program, we have 10 PhDs, some external, some through LPDP, some through various forms. Where they're focused on specific topics, let's say biophysical topics, and where they're kind of anchored within their discipline, focusing on pollution and wastewater treatment, as well as governance and socioeconomics. But then it's very important to us that they also do interlink, and we try to organize that through having certain topics that they all are addressing around local MPAs, regional influences, indicators, as well as socio-ecological systems and resilience and adaptive management. And there's also an education line going through all of it. Now, where we're working is, so this is a map that maybe some of you recognize. It's a map by Spalding, where it identifies the coral diversity across the world, where you have this epicenter of coral diversity, which is in Indonesia, the area of the Coral Triangle, as well as in the Caribbean. And so we've been identifying locations that have a different degree of tourism development and reef health. And these locations ultimately were chosen based on local partners and identified as areas that would fit within this framework. And so the way we look at it is, you have a marine protected area, which is very clearly, which is both a ecosystem, a governance system, and a social system. And as such, it's kind of a dynamic social ecological system. And furthermore, you see that marine protected areas, of course, are a very clearly defined area, but they're influenced physically, economically, socially, and in many ways by the region around it. And the key question really is kind of how does this dynamic system function, and how can you regulate these different aspects so that the MPAs can be in balance? And this is where we're looking not just at one system, so we're looking underwater and at various different stressors, as well as at the land-sea interface, on the water, as well as on land. And so there are a couple of things that we want to bring out, and one of the key things what we identified when talking with different stakeholders from NGOs as well as local governments and as well as researchers really is this point that there aren't that many clear dynamic indicators. There are a lot of these numbers out there that are very static and kind of hard to use all over. And so what we're really looking for are sort of more dynamic indicators that are linked to the larger socio-ecological system. So that's something that we're working on. So both the model behind it as well as the indicators. And it's not that we want to develop a dashboard. We're very much talking with either NGOs or local government to see, okay, what dashboards exist and where can we contribute. And then linking those indicators with, of course, governance toolbox, and then developing more monitoring guidebooks and training. And again, not developing something new, but it's really bringing everyone together and looking at, okay, what's being done currently? How can we, streamline? And also maybe there's certain things, and particularly in relation to water quality monitoring and measurement, that we can kind of bring in. And then there are some very specific technological solutions that we identified, that was identified by partners on the ground, and that was mostly related to wastewater solutions. So a key issue that was identified in all marine protected areas is that, yeah, you have an increase of tourism, so an increase of people and an increase of toilets, but not really an increase of wastewater management of what actually happens with toilets, because currently it all just gets flushed in the sea. And so we're working with environmental technologists and PhDs working on that for low-cost, low-tech wastewater solutions. And what I said before is, like, education is kind of an important part of this. So it's education on the one hand on the more academic level through Education Hub, but also we're developing knowledge clips that can be useful sort of more for practitioners in the field, and just as information for general public, as well as for more academic students. We have a set of master's fellowships, of which I just wanted to introduce our latest one. He just started yesterday on his master's program at Universitas Papua. That's Bema Monin. So with this fellowship, he will be working within doing his master's program with projects within INRIF, but the fellowship finances his master's program at UNIPA. So we have so this is some example from a workshop last year in Bali at the Coral Triangle Center with a variety of NGOs that work on within MPAs, where on the one hand there was a bit of education and training on how to do mostly related to water quality, but then also another thing that was identified was that a lot of NGOs collect lots of data, but then there's sort of a gap in how to then analyze it in an accurate way. So we asked everyone just to bring their data, and then we help with various pipelines and analytical tools. And we very much said to everyone, like, send your youngest staff, because we want the youngest staff that are not afraid of doing R and Python and programming. So we were giving lots of tools on that level and various discussions. Now, just for the last bit, I just wanted to show some very preliminary data that we have really kind of focused on this water quality aspect, on the local stressor of local stressors that influence the marine protected areas and predominantly related to water quality. And this is work that's been done by Agustin Capriati, who's sort of in the final phases of her PhD. And so one of the things that she did was she was like, okay, so there's a growing number of marine protected areas in Indonesia. I mean, many, but to what extent do marine protected area plans, the management plans, do they include these stressors in their plans? And that was recently published in Environmental Challenges. And so what we found is that we were really focusing on the marine affairs, marine and fisheries affairs, the MPAs that are part of the MMAF. And so here you see sort of Indonesia, and all the gray dots represent marine protected areas that have a plan. But these are ones that have a complete plan. So the ones that have both a sort of an introduction, problem identification, and then actual action plans and zoning. And what was a little bit worrying was that, yes, there are about 379 plans. This is from 2022, by the way. But of those, only kind of 20% have a complete plan. So, I mean, it's great that those MPAs are there, but there definitely needs to be some extra energy to make complete plans. But so when looking at those 77 MPAs with complete plans and doing text analysis, she found that actually a majority of the stressors that have been identified generally by science, right? I mean, there are a number of reviews that have identified a whole list of like key stressors for coral reefs. If you look at those to try to find those stressors in the MPA management plans, she actually found that many are not actually fully addressed. So let me just give an example. So you have destructive fishing. So what you see is that maybe a large portion of the MPA plans identify destructive fishing in the introduction, so they identify it as a problem. However, then a much smaller proportion actually identify it and address it in their zoning, and even less identify it then in their action plan. So then, just to give these numbers, you have 25 MPAs that do address destructive fishing. Of those, in total, there's only about 4 MPA plans that actually address destructive fishing and have some ways of mitigation or dealing with it in their zoning and action plans. And if you look at that for each of the different categories that we looked at, here's an example from sewage discharge. There you actually see that only 1 plan has a fully addresses the problem and identifies it in the action. And same goes for climate change. It is actually addressed in quite a number of plans, but not fully like, okay, what do you do? And so when you look at particularly the stressors that come from, let's say, land, the ones that cause low water quality, so eutrophication, nutrient pollution, sedimentation, various, that we have a whole list of these terms, we see that they're actually mostly not addressed by MPA plans. To some extent, that's understandable because these are marine protected areas, and informally, the jurisdiction stops at the highest tide line. But given the influence of eutrophication and nutrient pollution and sedimentation, these things really should be included. So that's sort of setting the stage there. And then we were wondering, okay, so what are the regulations actually, just generally for water quality? This is from a master's thesis that we're in the work, so this preliminary work from Niken Jonatika. She did her bachelor's at IPB and is now doing her master's in Wageningen. And so from Indonesia, there's sort of a set amount and DIN stands for dissolved inorganic nitrogen. And then we have phosphate. And then what Niken did is she also looked at what are the regulations of neighboring countries. So from Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Australia, and just from the ASEAN. And kind of what you notice is that, okay, for chlorophyll A, which is quite a typical proxy for nutrients. So chlorophyll A measures the phytoplankton, and phytoplankton kind of blooms when there's a lot of nutrients. There's no real value for that in most of them except in Australia. What you then see for dissolved inorganic nitrogen is that there are a lot of different values. I mean, it kind of ranges from 2 to 99. So that's kind of hard to get a clear view of like, okay, what's the threshold beyond which it's not okay anymore? And with phosphate, actually, even though the numbers look similar, in phosphate, actually, every 0.1 value is actually quite high. So this is kind of where we're at right now. And so then Niken had a look at publications. And so there have been a couple of publications that have identified, that's the top table, that have identified kind of what are optimum values or like the maximum values that are okay for coral reefs in from the scientific literature.
Time is limited. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes, the time is left 1 minute. Because
1 minute? Okay, 1 minute's great.
because it's
Okay.
only 15 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So there you see that they've identified these values, and we see that the values are a lot lower actually than in the threshold. So the science is actually giving much lower values than in the formal threshold values in the documents. So then, because there's limited time left, all I want to do is just give you some preliminary data from what we found. Because then what we did is we then, together with the NGOs that do a lot of the monitoring of reef health, we said, okay, hey, why don't you bring along, a CTD, measure the chlorophyll A, measure and take out water quality nutrients, and just to get a sense of what is the variation across the country. And the key message, all I want to give, is like totally messy here, but the key message I want to say is like, the values are super different regionally, locally, and if these dashed lines represent the thresholds, and in most cases it's above the thresholds. This is the same case if you look at dissolved inorganic nutrients. So on the left is phosphate, and so this is all phosphate, and I think the key thing, we need to dive into this more, and potentially we can identify certain locations that have very high values because of human input in these things. But I think the key thing where I'm just going to leave this, I'm going to go towards the end, is that the key thing is that what we see is an immense variation in nutrient values. And these are strongly related to regional differences. Then there are, of course, local sources. But I think together we really need to work very much towards setting up local reference points and thresholds in per MPA, and identifying what the best way of monitoring is, given the capacity there is and the money. And really to try to think of ways to do this in a similar way, that not everyone's doing different ways, and in a similar way in a same spatial and temporal variation. With that, I just want to thank my team, the Tropical Marine Biodiversity Lab, and thank you for listening. Okay. I think you're muted. I think you're muted.
Professor Netiati, you still mute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you, Dr. Lisa. And for the next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Muhammad Naimullah. And please let me to read a short CV. Dr. Muhammad Naimullah is a senior lecturer at the University Malaysia Terengganu Faculty of Fisheries and Food Science. He holds a PhD in Fisheries Science from National Taiwan Ocean University and Master of Science in Sustainable Tropical Fisheries from University Malaysia Terengganu. And his research expertise include fishing gear technology, fisheries management, species habitat and distribution modeling, and fisheries oceanography. And this afternoon, Dr. Muhammad will present speech on promoting a blue economy, sustainable marine development for economic growth, social benefit, and environmental protection, Asian and Malaysia. Okay, Dr. Muhammad, time is yours for 15-minute presentation.
Thank you so much, Prof. Noviati Zamani, for the introductions. Okay, let me share my slide first with you guys. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and very good afternoons from Malaysia, and also I think now Indonesia also afternoons. To distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends, it's quite interesting to see a lot of presentations by other presenters today that related to what I will present today. So maybe this is kind of the combinations or summary to what our previous presenter already presents. So it's privilege and honor to stand before you today at the 7th EMBRIO Symposium hosted by Institute Pertanian Bogor. So I would like to thank first the organizer, especially Dr. Rose, for the opportunity for me today to share my thoughts on the subject that is both urgent and inspiring and maybe quite popular nowadays, that is promoting a blue economy for sustainable marine developments, for economic growth, social benefit, and environmental protections, especially in ASEAN and Malaysia. So my name is Muhamad Naimullah, or you can call me Naim. I'm now researcher at Faculty of Fisheries Science. Actually, we already changed our faculty names just a month ago at the Universiti Malaysia, Terengganu, Malaysia. To begin, let me set the stage by looking at the ASEAN regions. ASEAN is the home to some of the world's richest marine biodiversity. I think all of you know that once. From coral reef and mangrove to the seagrass beds and fisheries, these ecosystems are not just beautiful, they are essential. They provide foods, incomes, and livelihoods for millions of people across our regions. But however, the challenge we face is now to balance economic growth with the conservations. If we exploit too much, we risk destroying the very resource that sustain us. But if we protect without considering livelihoods, we risk harming communities that depends on the oceans. Therefore, we think striking this balance is critical to ensure our food security, social well-being, and resilience in the face nowadays about the climate change. And this is the core of the blue economic approach. Ladies and gentlemen, the blue economy is about using our ocean resource sustainably, drive growth, creating jobs, and protecting marine ecosystems. In ASEAN, this including key sectors, for example, fisheries and aquaculture for foods and livelihoods, coastal and maritime tourism for income and jobs, marine transports at the heart of global trade routes, and for offshore renewable energy, biodiversity, and cut emissions. We also see potential in marine biotechnology and ecosystem service, from genetic resources to natural protections like a storm barrier and carbon storage. Together, all of this sector make the blue economy pathway for growth and resilience, but only if managed wisely and sustainably. We can see the study by Sabrina et al. 2025 here. ASEAN country now is towards the blue economy. Mostly will start on the 2023, and then a different country, they have their own pathway and their own ideas. ASEAN is a global hotspot for marine resource with 35% of the world coral reef, much of in the coral triangles, like Dr. Lisa had mentioned before in the previous presentations, or we call the Amazons of the sea. This makes our regions one of the most biodiverse on Earth. Fisheries are central to our marine wealth, contributing maybe over half of global fish production through capture and aquaculture. Provide affordable protein, sustainable livelihoods, and ensure food security for millions. And our oceans are also the trade highways, like a highway. About 80% of ASEAN trades move by sea, and a vital tourism asset. And the coastals and ASEAN coastal and marine tourism generates revenue and jobs, especially in Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and also Indonesia. This will show why ASEAN must lead in a building a sustainable blue economy. Our prosperity, job, and resilience depends on the health of our oceans. Next, let us look at the key sector driving the blue economy in ASEAN. Fisheries and aquaculture remain the central but the focus is now sustainable practice like better feed use, waste control, and also eco labels to stay competitive while protecting our ecosystem. So Arief with another pillar, okay, like the waste management, what Lisa has mentioned before. Maritime transport under pile crates and shifting to general ships, okay, more green user, and also offshore renewable energy, for example, in Vietnam now and Indonesia and the Philippines, they use a lot of green technology and offshore renewable energy to produce the electricity. And finally, marine biotechnology hold a huge promise from a new medicines to foods and cosmetics. Together, these 5 sectors show how ASEAN can balance growth with sustainability, keeping our ocean health for the future generations. ASEAN Ocean holds a vast potential, but also we face serious challenges. Okay? First, very popular and old issue that is overfishing and IUU fishing that continue to threat our food security and coastal livelihoods. With fish stock every year keep decline and unsustainable rates. Second, we have a problem with habitat loss from mangrove to coral reef. Is eroding ecosystem resilient and destroy our vital breeding grounds. Third, ASEAN is among the world's largest contributors to marine plastic pollutions, which endangers to biodiversity and human health. Climate change impacts, rising seas, stronger storms, ocean acidifications are already reshaping our coastal and fisheries. And finally, our governance gaps. For example, Malaysia, they have their own ideas. Indonesia, they have their own management. So it's a limit our ability to respond efficiently without stronger regional cooperation and enforcement. National effort alone will be not enough to implement this type of ideas such as blue economy. Now let us look at the key pathway that can guide ASEAN toward a sustainable blue economy. First, we look at the policy and governance. The aligned national strategies with the ASEAN Blue Economic Framework, for example, that start in 2023. Okay. Tools like a marine spatial planning and structural fisheries management have balanced conservation with developments. Second, technology and innovations. For example, Prof. Indra Jaya have presents about remote sensing, GIS, and AI application in fisheries and also oceans. Third, community empowerment. Coastal communities must be part of the decision making. We cannot forget about our communities because they are the main part to running this type of idea, for example, blue economy. And finally, financial and investment. Blue bonds, green financials, and public-private partnership are essential to fund the projects that protect ecosystem while driving the growth of the blue economy. To truly advance a sustainable blue economy, collaborate is a key. At the regional level, the ASEAN working groups on the coastal and marine environments, or they call AWGCME, play a central role in coordinating efforts on marine protections and sustainable use of resources. ASEAN has introduced the ASEAN Blue Economy Frameworks in 2023, which provides shared guidelines and strategies for members states to align national initiative with the regional visions. Beyond ASEAN's strong partnership with organizations such as UNDP, FAO, WWF, and the World Bank are vital. This partnership brings in technical experts, funding support, and policy guidelines to scale up sustainability. So compared to like Europeans in ASEAN's, this idea actually come a little bit, it's not late, but to implement is a little bit compared to Europe's. And finally, cross-country cooperations on marine protected areas, joint research, capacity buildings will help ASEAN countries have a shared knowledge, avoid duplications, and strengthen collective resilience against shared challenges such as climate change, IUU, and plastic pollutions. Let's look at some case study to show how the blue economy is being practiced across ASEAN. For examples, in Indonesia, this I think similar what have been presented by Dr. Lisa, community-based marine protected area. Okay. A lot, they show around 300 MPA in Indonesia just now.
Sorry,
In fact,
just to remind, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, quite fast, huh? Okay. Highlight the community participation system management. Okay, like also in Philippines, there is Tubata Reef. Okay, Vietnam, they had rapid offshore winds, and Malaysia in Terengganu, they put a lot of artificial reef protects the troll to enter the shorelines. Okay, and then blue economy in ASEAN. Okay, deliver a wide range of society benefit. First, to support our food security, employments, climate resilience, and also cultural value. Okay, maybe I can skip this one. So rule and policy, we need to align with at least SDG. It's not only 14s, maybe 13s, underwater worlds, below water, and strengthens our regional cooperation that ASEAN already do since 2023. Combat with IUU fishings, and also promotes the blue finances. So in Malaysia, we start our blue economy idea since 2023. However, we still facing a lot of challenge, absence of comprehensive national ocean policy, and also marine special plans, overlapping justification among government agency, and shortage of labor and experts. So in Malaysia, they have one idea to use and analyze the gap using, they call 8I ecosystems to implement the blue economy in Malaysia. You can skip this one. Okay. So we have a few blue economy, or we call 8I management plan. First is since 2009, we have a national blue ocean strategy to develop and promote sustainable growth for fisheries and aquaculture. And we also have national agro-food policy, start from 2021 until 2030, and national ecotourism, Malaysian shipping buildings, and also national marine litter policy and action plans. So challenge in Malaysia have a policy gaps, resource limitation, governance issues, technical challenge, and also jurisdiction conflicts. So this is the idea for the 8I that I mentioned before. 8I means they have 8I in the words: infrastructure, integrity system, infrastructure, intelligent capitals, initiative, institutions, interactions, and also internalizations. So the recommends for ASEAN blue economy is to build regional partnerships, increase research investments, and also support community management, ensure inclusive policies, and integrate multiple goals. So for the conclusions and actions, blue economy is not just about growth, but resilience, inclusive, and also sustainability for our oceans and our communities. ASEAN have a potential to become a global leader in sustainable ocean governance. So the call to action is clear. We must integrate marine biodiversity protections into every blue economy policies, foster stronger regional cooperations, and invest in innovation, community empower, and also sustainable financials. With together, we can shape our ocean for future in ASEAN for prosperity, peoples, and planets. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad. So this is the end of our presentation. Actually, we are already out of time, but probably just one short question. Are there any one short question? Okay, if not, then I will return the screen to our Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much. And then give a big applause to all our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Neviari. Our sincere gratitude to all the invited speakers for session 2, especially for Professor Dr. Indra Jaya and Dr. Lisa Becking and Dr. Muhamad Naimullah. A big thank you to our moderator, Professor Neviari, for a fantastic discussion. Your certificate of appreciation will also be sent to you via email. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach to the end of today's main symposium, here are a few final reminders. Please fill out the attendance list via the link in the chat box. And don't forget to upload your photo and tag at embryo.ipb for a chance to win a prize. The winner will be announced on the Embryo website. To conclude our symposium, we would like to invite Dr. Rosa Yusfiandayani, the chairman of the Embryo International Symposium 2025, to deliver her closing remark for day 1. Dr. Rosa, the virtual stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Cici Trinanda Citra Bangun, as a master ceremony of today. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. The Honorable, our keynote speaker today, Prof. Rachmat Pambudy, Minister of National Development Planning, Bapak Arief Havas Oegroseno, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bapak Profesor Ferdinand Yulianda, Dean of the Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, Bapak Prof. Arief Satria, Rector of IPB University, and the invited speakers, Pilar from the Guatemala. Thank you so much, because in your country still 1.30 EM. Thank you so much, Pilar. Professor Fang from Xiamen University, Professor Indra Jaya from IPB University, Dr. Lisa Becking from Wageningen, Dr. Muhamad Naimullah from Universiti Malaysia Terengganu, and beloved Embryo International Symposium Committee, and the beloved colleagues and the participants. As we end day 1 of the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium, it is a pleasure to reflect on the inspiring session and rich discussion we have followed today. Today's programs has brought valuable insight into marine biodiversity, sustainability, and resilience. We have heard from our keynote speaker, engaged in meaningful panel discussion, and explore innovative ideas present through presentation will be held tomorrow. So don't forget to join with us for tomorrow. On behalf of the organizing committee, we sincerely thank you to all keynote speakers, invited speaker, moderator, presenter, and the participant for your active engagement and contribution. Your dedication and enthusiasm have made today's session both fruitful and impactful. Day 1 has highlighted the importance of working together across discipline, sector, and border to address our ocean urgent challenges. The knowledge and perspectives shared today have set a strong foundation for continuing dialogue and collaboration. With that, we officially close the first day of the 7th EMBRIO International Symposium today. We invite all of you to join us again tomorrow for day 2, where we'll continue our journey of learning, sharing, and building solutions for the future of our ocean. Thank you for your attention and participation. Have a pleasant day and see you tomorrow. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Rosa, for your closing remark for day 1 and for the outstanding leadership in
Tidak
organizing
bisa
this
ngisi.
event. On behalf of the entire committee, we want to express our deepest gratitude to all the speakers, participants, and everyone who has made this symposium success. We sincerely apologize for any shortcoming or technical issue that may have occurred during the event. We would also like to remind all participants that the parallel session for oral presentation will be held tomorrow on September 3rd. We look forward to see you there. This marks the end of today's ceremony. I, Trinanda Citrabangun, as Master of Ceremony, would like to say thank you and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Mbak Cici. Thank you so much for all participants.